Cassandra Lambert, and I am here with the amazing Leena, or Magdalena. She likes to be called Leena Bandy, and she just went through my 8-week transformational course, Pain into Power, and she would like to share some things that she gained from the program, and she wants to share a little bit about herself. So, Leena, hey, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. How are you?
I am great. I'm so glad you can join me today on this interview and that you were open to sharing just a little bit more about yourself and your experiences. I thought that was very courageous.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Okay. Could you give us a little bit could you give us a little bit of background and history about yourself and who you are, and then as well what brought you to the program?
Yeah, so my name is Leena. I am in Boston, Massachusetts, and I work as a Braille proofreader at the National Braille Press. I'm also an anthropology student at Southern New Hampshire University. And what brought me here was that I had a lot of difficulty with past relationships and trauma that I really wanted to kind of get rid of, because some of it I've been dealing with for almost 15 years. And, well, quite simply, I didn't want to do it anymore. I didn't want to deal with it. I wanted to heal from it and not let it control anything that I did.
Yeah, that's very powerful. And then could you let me know like what prices you were paying before the program in this area specifically, or even in any other area too?
Well, yeah, so especially in relationships, I had fallen pretty much in a pattern of attracting abusive relationships, of not realizing that I was being manipulated, and years of my life would go by with the same person. And I would finally wake up and go, oh, wait a minute. This is why I'm not happy. It's not because of something I'm doing, it's because of something I couldn't see or didn't pay attention to that that person is doing. And I want to stop the cycle. So it would just end up in a lot of difficult relationships, not being able to honor myself. One big price I paid was lack of self-respect and self-love. And other things, that I've in other areas, things like wanting very much to be a healer, but being of the belief that that was supposed to be something that was done for free. And so not being kind of stagnant, actually, as far as wanting to start a business, but not feeling confident that I could, because should I actually be charging to help other people? So there were a lot of prices that I was paying.
Oh yeah, I feel like a lot of people are struggling with very similar um, struggles, especially today. Abuse is very rampant, and it's almost like everybody just accepts it as familiar, and tolerates it, maybe because of how they were raised or things they went through, or just because sometimes it's even so covert we don't even realize that, hey, actually, that's abuse and that's actually not healthy. So thank you for openly sharing that. And then, yeah, the healing thing, it's always like a hump to get over, to being like, oh, wait, yes, I can make a living doing what I love, and I can make a living helping others in their healing process. Because that's part of life. Life is about the energy exchange, and money is one of those energy exchanges. So that's a very powerful price to be paying too, because then it keeps you from doing what you really love to support yourself in life. And then it also kind of limits your ability to help more people, right?
Absolutely. And actually, I think, another price I was paying was a lot of times, and it's not necessarily to do with any of these, but the focus that I sometimes put on discrimination, because I am a blind person. I'm proud to be a blind person, but it's one of those things where people will, I always would focus on the misconceptions that people had about me and people like me. And it also prevented me from moving forward in a lot of areas and taking opportunities that I wanted to take.
Yeah, just being a part of this process with you has been so cool because you're also opening my eyes to life as a blind person that I wasn't even aware of either. So it's just been really rewarding and beautiful to be a part of your process too. Because you've definitely opened my eyes to things that I hadn't even ever even been exposed to or realized. So this has been a really cool co-creative bubble we've been in. What would you say the specific results and breakthroughs you've gotten through the 8 weeks has been?
One of the biggest for me is the ability to both set and, probably more importantly, honor my boundaries. And as hard as it can be to step back and realize what my deal breakers are and walk away from people who refuse to respect those. And while it's a hard process and it's still not the easiest thing for me, it's huge that I was able to do that and to step into my power. And it feels amazing. And another breakthrough is that when I started this process, I did not have a whole lot of self love and self respect. There were things that I was proud of, but as myself, as Leena, as a whole person, I didn't feel love for myself. And I do now. I'm starting to really embrace that now. And that's a huge win, a huge change.
Yeah, that's been a beautiful thing to witness to all those things. It definitely makes me teary-eyed because it's like one thing to think that you love yourself, but then when you do an exercise that like makes you really confront and tap into like your true point A, and then you realize it's not where you thought it was, and then you actually
Mm-hmm.
do the work to actually get there. But it was like you did the work, and more self-love was like a byproduct of doing all the exercises and the tapping and all the things we did together. The self-love just kind of develops as a byproduct of just doing the program and like staying consistent, right? It wasn't like we like completely
Yes.
focused on it. It was like this byproduct of like clearing trauma and clearing past experiences and working through all these things. And then like you started to get to that point. It's kind of cool how that happens, right?
Yeah, it's really amazing to watch the transformation. And even though I'm, on the inside and actually being the one being transformed, it's really cool that I actually get to see it happen, as even though I'm on the inside of it, being the one transformed, kind of the idea of looking back and going, wow, I feel so much different than when I started 8 weeks ago.
Yeah, would you say it was like a drastic like you see it feel it change, or is it more like this like gentle like shift that you begin to like just notice and sit in?
So it is a gentle shift, and once it happens, or once it starts, really happening, and once you look back at it, once I look back at it, I kind of realize, wow, that was a much bigger shift. It felt so gradual, but it wasn't. It was so many massive things that shifted.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden when you realize it, those like, oh wow, that is a big shift, right? But I feel like it because
Yeah.
if you were to just like have a drastic shift, it could be really shocking, kind of like being thrown into the deep end of the pool without like knowing how to swim. So I love how this process is so gentle that it does it so gradually. But then by the time you like catch up to realizing what's going on or what happened, you're like, whoa, that is actually a big shift. So you don't have that like crazy shocking thing that would cause you to like maybe default or freak out or anything. It's just like this gradual, nice little like growth and expansion. And then like you're able to swim. Like it's not like I'm throwing you in the deep end or you're not like getting thrown into the deep end and not able to swim, right? Like you're like slowly getting there and then it's just like you're there and you're like, wow. And so you don't lose it, right? It like stays with you.
Right.
I mean, a lot of programs that we've been in together, like you go and you get like this high for a week and then you come back home and you're met with like your life and like you default back, right? So what would you say the difference
So
between
true.
this program is compared to those programs?
Well, programs like that, I mean, everything's great and awesome and I'm excited, and then you can go home and you find family and school and work and XYZ and go, oh, and it just kind of drops you. And this is such a gradual process. It's not as difficult to stay on that wavelength because it integrates. You give it time to be part of you instead of just letting it hit you and then gone. It's kind of like, it's kind of like caffeine versus water.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Or like a 4-hour energy drink versus water. Oh yeah, that's hella funny. Oh yeah, thank you for sharing that. I love that line so much. I'm totally borrowing that. I hope you know.
Okay.
What would you say the ultimate biggest like win was for you? I know you said some of your breakthroughs and things, but what would you say the ultimate win you got out of the whole experience has been?
I think the ultimate win actually was just recent, and it was just being able to stand in my power and honor my boundaries. And I think probably right up there was, it sounds weird, but being able to shield myself is a huge win, like that. And being more open to spirit guides.
Would you say that you're just like a sensitive, empathic person and that's why shielding helped you? Just so people understand what you're talking about in case they're like,
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Sorry. Yes. I am an empath. I have a tendency to feel other people's emotions and energies. I'm a Reiki master and have done other healing work, and so I need to be able to shield from people's energy and feelings sometimes. So it's a huge benefit to be able to do that.
yeah, because that way you don't get sucked into like feeling bad or being at effect all day long and you can actually stay aligned and on your path and co-create what you're meant to, right? Would you
Exactly.
what would you tell, like, if somebody was on the fence, like, if they're watching this and they're following me and they're very curious about my tapping or my program or any of the offerings, and they were like sitting on the fence. Like, do I do it? Or they might be scared to like reach out to me because that could happen as well. What do you feel like? Why do you feel they should
Mhm.
take the extra step?
First of all, tapping itself is a very powerful mode of healing because it helps you to go through what you're going through. It's not about all positive love and light affirmations and pretending that the negative doesn't exist. It's not about that, which I think is really cool. And I appreciate because, affirmations are great and they're helpful and everything. And so is handling what's really going on and acknowledging what you're feeling and what's really happening in your life. And as far as this program is incredible, Cassandra is extremely intuitive and an absolutely amazing guide to have along on a journey. So I would definitely say it was worth it, honestly, just to work with her, as well as to work on trauma or boundaries or anything that you really need help with or to get or want to get past to live your best life.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah, there's so many areas that could be so helpful. And just as another sensitive human being, like I struggled a lot in my own stuff, right? So just bringing that perspective of I'm not coming towards you guys from a space of just textbook learning or anything. I come from the trenches too, like of my own life experiences. And I've found these things that support me in my own life and growth and healing and transformation. So it's just like paying it forward and helping others, like bringing them along the path with me. Um, it's pretty powerful. I always wanted to get to this point too, so it's so cool to be able to actually do it and actually help you guys produce real, tangible results. It's the most rewarding thing ever. It makes all those struggles so worthwhile, right? Because it's like, where is this all leading?
Yeah.
Why am I going through all these things? And now when I can actually be like, oh, this is why I went through the thing, because then I can relate to people and talk to them in their struggle and then give them a bridge and like a map of how to get from where they're at to where I'm at in their own aligned path. So it's been so cool to be a part of this. What would you like if you were to place a value on your experience in the 8 weeks? Like, what value would you place on that? Like, you could put like a price tag or just like with words. What value would you place on your experience for the 8 weeks?
I've actually had amazing value. The values that I don't know if I could put a price on it. Just the self-love and self-respect that I finally feel, and not just the ability but the desire to honor myself and to love and appreciate who I am. I can't really put into any kind of monetary value what price that would be, because it's just more than I thought possible.
Yeah, how do you put a price tag on finally really
Yeah.
genuinely feeling love for yourself and then also being empowered enough to actually honor yourself in situations that are sticky or tough because maybe you've grown attached to a relationship or person or situation. Yeah, it's hard to put a price tag on that.
Yeah, it really is.
Oh yeah, like how do you put a price tag on that? I don't know. That's like priceless. Um,
Yeah.
is there any other things you'd like to share with people before we end our time together today?
Hmm. I just want to thank you again. I really am grateful for the healing that I have been guided through and have received, and I'm just so excited to continue and to live my best life.
Yeah, I'm excited too to watch as you continually unfold and bloom and be a part of your process. So thank you too for being so willing to share openly and honestly and transparently. Because you never know who will see this and who it might touch and who might end up getting support for wherever they're at. And I just wanted to thank everybody else for joining us as well, and tuning in and listening. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And then you can always just send me a little message and we can book you for a 15-minute complimentary discovery call where you can see if you're a great fit and we're a great fit to work together, to see if I can help you with wherever you're at and whatever you're struggling with and wherever you see yourself wanting to go a year from now. So I hope everybody's having a really great day and we will talk to you later. Bye.